We're going to make a little switch here to Illinois football. I haven't talked about Illinois football in a while, so it's good to come back and talk. They got a big-time wide receiver transfer in Zakhari. I hope I said it right. Zakhari Franklin. He played at UTSA wide receiver under Lunney Jr. in his offense. Last year he played at Ole Miss. He had transferred to Ole Miss. Did not have a good career at Ole Miss. He had injuries. He got redshirted and everything else. So decided to enter the transfer portal and is going to reunite with Barry Lunney Jr. And during his time with Barry Lunney Jr.'s offense and his play calling, was one of the top wide receivers during that time. Franklin is the NCAA's active career receiving yards leader at 3,336. During 50 career games, he has 266 receptions and 38 touchdowns. He was the number 136 transfer wide receiver this offseason because of the fact that playing at Ole Miss, he only had 3 catches. He was one of the most hyped transfers, but then he got, like I said, hurt and everything else. He only had, 4 receptions for 38 yards. During his time at UTSA, during 2021, 2022, he caught 175 passes for 2,163 yards and 27 touchdowns. And during those 2 years, Barry Lunney Jr. was the offensive coordinator. So what does this mean for Illinois? Well, it means that they're adding another great transfer. They got 4-star Texas cornerback Terrence Brooks. He's a great corner, so that's going to help out the speed and the tackling and a leadership for Illinois' defense. But what this means for the offensive side, they're getting a fast, talented wide receiver, and he's going to have a veteran presence because he's been playing forever. If you want to go over everything, he's been playing since 2019. In 2019, he had 38 catches, 491 yards, 3 touchdowns. The next year, 49 catches, 694 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Then the next 2 years had his breakout years, 81 catches for 1,027 yards and 12 touchdowns, then 93 catches for 1,137 yards and 15 touchdowns. And so again, this past year, 4 catches, 38 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest career catch was 75 yards. No fumbles, anything like that. And so a guy that's going to have a veteran presence in the locker room. And what does this mean? I said one of the things that slowed down Illinois' offense from time to time is sometimes inconsistent play from the quarterback, but it also came down to who's going to be the big guy that's a playmaker. And for the last couple years, we would look towards Isaiah Williams. And like I said, no offense to him, he's a super fast guy and able to get open and everything else. But who is like the tall receiver that can go up and get the ball, right? And so the only guy really coming back that could have like that proven option was Pat Bryant. He has 83 catches for 1,111 yards and 9 touchdowns during 3 seasons with Illinois. They were kind of looking towards Malik Ensley and Ashton Hollins. They've shown a lot of flashes during the spring. I got to see them live, and they're super fast at making those glimpses and from the spring game. But the more and more that gets asked of them, then the higher the level becomes. And so that's where the question marks were going to come. And so when you have a guy now you have Pat Bryant and you have Franklin there. And so you're going to have these 2 outside weapons, and you can even put them in slots, but you're going to have these 2 outside weapons now for the defense to hopefully be more balanced and say, okay, do we just choose to pick to stop one of them, or do we just try to be balanced, right? But also you have a guy coming in that could just probably walk right into Barry Lunney's offense and really pick it up very quickly because he played under it. I mean, obviously it's not the exact same as he had when he was at UTSA, but this hopefully could erase that question mark that we have for Illinois football's offense, because I think you're going to have the running backs. I'm going to believe the offensive line is going to be way better than it was last year. They're going to stay healthy. You have Luke Altmaier now. It's going to be his 2nd year playing in this offense, because think about this. Even though last year he was a sophomore, that was his 1st year starting. He did not start at Ole Miss. So now he's going to come into his 2nd year, probably the starter. Watching him live, he actually is pretty quick. He has a good arm. And so now you have 2 guys that you could throw it up to and go make a play in Pat Bryant and Franklin. And Franklin has proven he can catch things. He's very fast. And again, that veteran presence with that wide receiver group is going to be huge. And his experiences that he can bring that knowledge and to new wide receivers coach as well. And so hopefully that he'll be able to fit right in. And how could he fit right in? Well, he's proven he can catch, has a lot of yards, has played in a lot of games. And Barry Lunney loves to do his play action and RPO stuff, which you have to in today's college football and in the Big Ten in order to compete. He's awesome with the RPO stuff. Again, he did all his whole career at UTSA. And so in order to do that, he can play outside, he can play the slot receiver. So I think that this is going to be really have a lot of weapons now on offense, right? That's kind of been our question, right? Defense last year was kind of the question mark for Illinois just because of the dominance they had the year before. But they have to adapt and play to what they have. But now you're going to get an experienced cornerback from Texas. I think the defense looks pretty fast. You're going to have different depths at different spots. The linebackers look better. You have a second-year play caller now in Aaron Henry, who's going to be more comfortable in that role. I think Illinois is flying under the radar. They're not ranking them pretty high. They're predicting to go like win 4 games or go like 5-7 and stuff like that. They have a tough schedule. All the new teams coming into the Big Ten, but I think that their offense now can take another step forward. If Luke Altmaier can come in and play to a higher level, and now you have these receiver weapons, it's almost like now more no excuses. Like Coach Brent Bielema and staff have done a good job trying to get this all done. And so I think that you have these 2 weapons now. If they can figure out how to get them the football and everything, you're going to have good weapons here on offense. So I wanted to end it on a good note there with Illinois football. I'm super excited to see what Illinois football is going to look like. Super excited for hopefully them to go on a run and throughout the summer. As we get into the season, we'll hopefully keep talking more and more about Illinois football. Super excited to see that.